Hi, and welcome to the second section of the Mastering TypeScript Programming Techniques video course, where we're going to take a look at how to keep the quality of our code base. In this section of the course, we're going to take a look at how to set up TSLint and Grunt, how to work with tests by examining Jasmine and Karma. First, we're going to learn how to set up TSLint. And during this video, we will go through some of the basics behind TSLint. As we learned in the previous section, linting is a process that makes sure that our code style is consistent, and we have installed TSLint for Visual Studio Code already. We are now going to take a look at how we can configure TSLint to suit our needs. Now, there are a number of rules that we can configure for our TypeScript linter, and these core rules, along with their definitions, can be found on https://palantir.github.io/tslint/rules. And some default configuration values can also be found on the other link that you see on the slide. So let's go ahead and explore some of these rules. I opened the previously mentioned URL here, and as you can see, there are quite a number of rules that you can choose from. So let's, for example, take a look at a rule called only arrow functions. This particular rule disallows non-arrow function expressions. Now, arrow functions is something that you can use in TypeScript, and there are some benefits of using them. As a best practice, we can set up this rule and get a warning if we try to use the traditional function expressions. So let's go ahead and see how we can configure TSLint and also see how we can configure this particular rule. I have my Visual Studio Code editor open, and I'm going to now create a new file. And this file is going to be TSLint.json. So basically, the linting configuration for TypeScript lives in this file. Now you can specify any number of rules in this file. So I'm going to go ahead and add a very simple rule, making sure that only arrow functions can be utilized in our TypeScript code. I have added a rules property in where I can specify the rules that I want to use, and I set the only arrow functions rule to be true. Now let's go ahead and create a simple TypeScript file as well, where I'm deliberately going to put a function expression. Notice how we automatically get an error in the IDE. The term function is underlined with red, and if we hover our mouse over it, we get non-arrow functions are forbidden. So now the linter is actually telling us that we have set up a rule whereby we are not allowing such function calls. So in order to get rid of this error, we can now eliminate this and rework this example so that it uses the arrow function syntax. And notice how we no longer get the error message. Now, as I mentioned, there are quite a number of rules that we have available, and there are some recommended settings as well, which we can specify in this TSLint.json configuration file. And we can do that by using the extends property as well. So let's go ahead and add that extends property and use the recommended TSLint settings. Adding that extends property and specifying TSLint:recommended, we are telling the TypeScript linter to use the recommended settings. Now, if you are curious on what these recommended settings are, then please refer back to the slides, as I had a link to the GitHub page where you can see the whole list of recommended rules specified. And of course, every project can have a different TSLint configuration, but my advice is that you make sure that you use the same configuration throughout an entire project.